Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us. You know, I was just joking with the county exec and others. I think 2 weeks ago we had another bill signing event for an environmental bill, but it was, I think the wind chill was 15 degrees. So spring has sprung. And this is a much better location, much better, exciting opportunity here that we're signing today. So I won't give that all away. Instead, I'm Matt Johnston. I'm the Environmental Policy Director, and I'm just here to welcome you to Quiet Waters Park for this historic signing, and I will hand it over to County Executive Stuart Pittman to tell us what we're signing today.
All right. So this was kind of a long time coming. It took a little longer than we thought to get through the county council for some reason. There were some amendments that, I don't know, would have left us with pretty much nothing had they passed. But fortunately, those were rejected, and we got this through our county council. And to me, you know, I came in and said I wanted to protect open space in the county, farm boy from South County, tree hugger, you know, there's even cartoons about that. And I didn't know how to do it, though. And I just knew that we wanted to do it and that we had to do it. And this county is such a beautiful place, and it has so many natural resources that we have to protect. And so we got to work on Plan 2040, and our friends at Plan and Zoning did such a fantastic job with that they really showed me, and I think the residents of our county, how to do development in a way so that we protect open space, smart growth, transit-oriented development, and redevelopment, and focus on that. But I see Jim Lyons over here, who was advocating from day one, in fact, in the transition committee and others, that we had to take inventory of what it is that we're trying to protect, and then we had to have a plan to protect it. And that's the plan that we're signing today. So I guess, you know, the folks I really want to recognize, obviously, Matt Johnston, when he came into this new position of Environmental Policy Director that didn't exist before, he had a big job, and he was ambitious, and he got a lot of great things started. And I guess, unfortunately for us, this is sort of his swan song. He said not to talk about him, but I'm sorry, Matt. I have to say that Matt is moving on to the Arundel Rivers Federation, and he's going to run his own organization and be the boss, other than his board, which will be his boss. But I have no doubt that Matt is going to build that organization, a wonderful organization, into an incredibly powerful advocate for this county, and that he will hold me accountable, all of us in the administration accountable, for all the things that he started, and make sure that we continue them and finish them. Right, Lori? Lori's. So we will be in close contact. But the folks at Plan and Zoning, is Steve here? Where are you guys? Are you all? Who's here? Where?
Steve is sick.
Oh, he's sick. Okay. Okay, great. And Michael Stringer wrote this thing, right? I mean, bow down. Yeah. I mean, our long-range planning team at OPZ is incredibly good at what they do. And, you know, Plan 2040 got the Sustainability Award from the state of Maryland, and I hope that this plan gets awards. No plan is any good unless you implement it. And we put some money in the last budget for green infrastructure and preservation, and you'll see more in the budget that's coming. We're creating a conservation team to do this. And I've got to say that Rec and Parks is integral to all of this. Yes. You'll hear from Jessica in a minute, but they not only go out when we say there's a piece of property that should be preserved, and there's a question about whether there's a public use for it, and whether Rec and Parks, it fits their criteria. And I think you've had more of those in the last 3 years than ever, and you've actually brought somebody in to do nothing but these evaluations of property to see whether they fit into the Rec and Parks portfolio, and it's great when they do. The Forney property, Quiet Waters Retreat, others forthcoming, we hope. But all of the conservation programs that the county does, I have to say ag preservation is one that has not had as many applications in recent years. And we've just realized that we need to start marketing that program and marketing all of the programs. And then, of course, there are the nonprofit conservation organizations. We have two of our partners here, the Chesapeake Conservancy and Scenic Rivers Land Trust, and others that we plan to lean on and utilize and engage with and partner with to get to the goal that we have set in this plan, which is 30% of Anne Arundel County preserved by the year 2030. So it is ambitious but doable, and it's one of the reasons why I'm running for re-election, and I'm not here to campaign, but I'll tell you that we have to implement this thing, right? And even another 4 years isn't enough. We got to implement it for the next decade and 2 decades because our future depends on it. So I am going to pass it over next to my friend from both Chesapeake Conservancy and Baltimore City Council, Mark Conway, to talk about your role in this. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mark Conway. I am the Executive Vice President of the Chesapeake Conservancy, and I'm honored to be here today to see this come through. It means so much to the future of my children. I've got 2 little ones. It means so much to today, to the folks who use our open space, our green space, to see this come through. It's important that for local governments, we fully incorporate green infrastructure when we're thinking about the future of the county, when we're thinking about the future of the state. And I'm honored to have an opportunity to work with planning and rec and parks and the county executive to see this through. And Chesapeake Conservancy really applauds you guys for the work you've done to make sure that you take the community's input into consideration right from the beginning. It should be a master's class in making sure that we make sure to take the inputs, the insights, the desires, the problems, and otherwise into consideration when we're thinking about conservation into the future. And as the Executive Vice President of Chesapeake Conservancy, I'm honored to hear that you guys have stepped full forward into committing to conserve 30% of the county by 2030. We too have stepped forward to make sure that the state takes every initiative to conserve 30% of the state. So really, really excited to see everyone here today and really excited to be a part of this group. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Jessica Lays, Director for Recreation and Parks. Obviously, Mother Nature loves this bill because today is a beautiful day to have us out here at Quiet Waters. I just want to start off by saying thank you to the administration for having such great support on this initiative, the County Council for approving the bill, but most importantly, all the worker bees. Pun intended, as the bees are flying around our head today. It was a lot of time and a lot of effort behind the scenes. And I'm not sure the public always sees that passion, but coming from the inside, the Monday nights, the county council hearings, the questions coming from the public, the amendments, talking to the councilmen, educating everybody on what we're doing and why we're doing is really what got us here today. And I just really appreciate that. Our partners in planning and zoning, in the administration, and here at Rec and Park, especially Erica Matthews, who hates it when I call her out, but has been behind the scenes.
Erica!
with a lot of work, and it's what we believe in at Rec and Park, and that's why these type of legislations and these plans are so important. Look at that map, and the idea that we're going to add green to the map is just exactly what we're here for. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for being supportive, and we look forward to moving forward with our partners and within to make this goal a reality. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Well, I'm Sarah Niebel from Scenic Rivers Land Trust, and in the land conservation world, I'm just excited I have a really new map to use for land conservation. You know, a lot has changed in the last 20 years in Anne Arundel County for land use, and I am so excited that this new map reflects all of that and expands the network. Like Jessica was saying, it is so exciting that more landowners and their properties can qualify for our conservation program, for the county's conservation programs, and just in general for funding to protect their land, which is what's really needed. As you've heard, this is a non-regulatory plan, and I view it more as a priority conservation funding plan for the county. This can really work to invigorate landowners and invigorate our own programs on the private nonprofit side. And even if they don't want to get money for their conservation easement or protecting their land, this plan can even help them build a case to the IRS that their donation of a conservation easement is worth a tax deduction. So it's working in so many ways to help promote land conservation in this county. We know that conserved lands contribute to healthy, economically thriving communities. We know landowners are interested and willing. We know communities are interested to have land protected in their neighborhoods. In just the last 4 years, Scenic Rivers has worked with landowners to protect over 500 acres, and that's thanks to county, funding. So I'm truly thankful to the county and everyone here for being so supportive of land conservation. I'm just daydreaming of what we can do together for land conservation in the next 8 years. So thank you all.
There's two things I want to add. And I can do that, okay? Is that okay, Matt? All right. First is that I neglected to mention that we're not only protecting the nature that we have, but this plan calls for us to add to it, to plant trees, create green spaces in communities that are gray now and that don't have them. So that's a very important part of this plan. Replant and Arundel and our watershed stewards are all involved in that work, and we're going to expand that. The other is that while the county council was not unanimously in support of a robust green infrastructure plan and had I think it was the Don't Say Green amendment that said you're not actually supposed to talk about this plan when doing development review, but fortunately that one didn't pass. But unlike the county council, there was unanimous support for this plan on our planning advisory board. And I saw Van Mason here, and so I wanted you to say a few words, if you're willing to, Van, about from the perspective of our planning advisory board.
Good afternoon. I'm Dan Mason, and I am on the Planning Advisory Board. And I got to say, just what Stu just mentioned, that it was a plan that we unanimously voted for, supported. We thought it was a great idea, and I didn't have a problem speaking before the council to remind them of such, and opposing an amendment to, of course, dummy it down. But we prevailed, and I'm happy for it, and I'm happy to be able to be on this board and serve in this way. So I appreciate everybody, especially Erica. I like to point you out too, just because. Anywho, so that's my 2 cents, and I'm looking forward to continuing to serve on the board. Thank you.
Sure, you can talk, but I get the last statement, right? Thanks again, everybody. Now I'd like to invite the county executive to sign Anne Arundel County's comprehensive conservation plan, the 2022 Green Infrastructure Network Plan, into law.
Because it's not below freezing, the pen will work. Let me just check here. All right, it works. Okay. Bill number 822. Oh, it says sign here. All right. I'll take the sign here thing off, and it's official. All right.